What's that flying in the sky on numerous legs too many to count? Why, it's Wandering Monster driving a mech. Roll initiative!
Hello. Hello? Hello. Hello! I forgot how to count, apparently. My name is John Baldisberger, and this is Wandering Monster, America's Test Table, where we don't just play test games, we stress test my poor, poor brain.
You're
later,
John
we're going to be working on
Baldisberger.
colors and shapes.
I already said my name. It's up to y'all now.
I am Charles Bernard.
Ian Sabas.
Mr. Paschke, and with us again,
Kevin Welch.
Lovely. So we are all here. My friends, tonight almost didn't happen because my friend and tattoo artist called me up and said, hey, I see you're going to be doing some medical stuff this summer. I also know you've been wanting a Godzilla sleeve for ever. My gift to you, let's get this sleeve done before your chemo starts. So I sat through a 7-hour session today. Friends, you can see my good boy here.
hold on, real quick. Hold on, you're now on the big screen. Okay. Wait, no.
Oh my God. Everyone, don't worry. This is amazing. It's worth it. It's worth it's so worth it.
Okay, now we're back.
So Giant Monsters. Back when this show was a different show, right? Charles and I and Lemons did this thing where we would each bring one monster, and then we would talk about how they were the coolest monster, and then I would run like this D&D session where all those monsters would fight one another. And one time after Charles had presented his and Lemons had presented theirs, I just screamed, "You brought a demon? Well, I brought a goddamn kaiju!" And introduced Biolante. And since I was GMing this thing, Biolante won by a lot. I say this all to say that I adore giant monster and giant robot media. Like there's a game by the guys that make War Machine, which I've talked about ad nauseum in the old format, called Monster Apocalypse, which is a miniatures versus giant robots like wargaming thing. And there's a lot of those, and there's a lot of I don't know if Charles shared it on the Instagram, but I picked up Mecha versus Kaiju the other day from Tiny D6 Systems. Like, it's a genre that brings me nothing but joy, because at the end of the day, I wish I was a giant monster tearing the arm off a robot that was threatening me.
Don't we all?
But the truth is that we, as a people, have never been more divided before than this point in history. The left, the right, the pineapple on pizza versus the anchovies on pizza, and of course, giant monster, giant robot. The quintessential struggle that defines the archetypal struggle, I will say, that defines us all as humans: giant robot versus giant monster. Ergo, I think it is important for us as humans working to develop empathy, to heal divides, and to learn to love once more, that we step into the shoes of the, I won't say villainous, but dastardly giant robots, and see how they can speak to our heart and maybe start that healing. Ian, tell us about the game tonight.
A heck of an intro there. So we are going to be playing Aether Nexus, which is a hack of the Black Hack. It is a hack of the Mecha Hack, which were originally developed by David Black. So this game is brought to us by writers Matt Click, Michael Barker, Tim Kearney, and a host of great artists. This is still a work in development, so they even have a Discord where you can find out more information about the work in progress and get more up-to-date information. But this does capture, as John was saying, a lot of what really captures the genre, whether or not if you were someone that came in and like some of the early wave things like Voltron or newer wave things such as like Pacific Rim, this hits all of those kind of areas that you love. Even there's a lot of elements from like 40K, since we have a lot of our viewership as a fan of pan GW content. So this has a little bit of kind of call out to each one of those things. So wherever you are in that spectra that John was talking about, that great rift and divide, you're going to find something that you like in that, from whether or not these are heroic, robotic, or apparatus as they're called here, figures, or if you are more siding with the giant kaiju and other types of monstrosities that you'd be battling in the suits.
If you like
So
adorable xenoforms as well, this is a good one.
Yeah, the arts is really spot on.
Yeah.
And you get to play Xeno races yourself, so you get some pretty interesting diversity as far as the classes and characters. And as far as it's also important, since you're kind of bringing up this divide and there are different kinds of expectations, like what does it mean when you start talking about giant robot? What is the set and setting? And it's like a 15 kind of second elevator pitch. The world in which this is set, the people, the Escarns, ventured past the veil and discovered the Aether, which helped them to make Aether tech. But exploring this other world and pulling the energy from that gathered the attention of the Ogdra, which are in a way almost like Tyranids, if you're from the 40K, or like chitinous bug monstrosities that then Zerg swarmed and surged.
Yep. I was going to cite the Zerg.
I just want to point out Silithids. There. Now we've mentioned all the bug monsters.
See? There we go. Leading to a giant war, and it was only through the development and utilization of the apparatus helped turn the tide, but ultimately it shattered and fragmented the world. So the world itself is a constellation of floating island chunks and continents around the planet's inner molten heart, and time has passed after this giant war where the cost to operate and function those giant mechs were so exorbitant that they're now just ancient dusty relic used to do noble house wars, to maybe a little bit of labor here and there. But the prophecies have kind of warned about returning of the Ogdra and a fading of the sun and kind of this looming apocalypse. And now these suits are being dusted off and then are being prepared once again for the kind of coming of the end. So that's a little bit of an intro there. And why don't we start introducing our apparatus? Who wants to
I know
talk
this is unusual, but I'd actually really like to go first for once, if that's okay.
I do have one thing to interject, though, Charles.
Yeah.
I mentioned this is a game for healing, so I need everyone to avoid doing a really ignorant, racist robot voice for this one, okay? Because we're trying to mend. I know they're super appropriate, but
damn.
Wow.
It.
All right.
Okay, so
just take that, delete.
I
notes.
am fighting under the banner of Iron Lancer. My name is Olak, and I am a Buforog, is how I decide I'm going to say it. Buforog. I am an amphibious being. We are dwellers kind of in the wilds. We are known for being tough to kill. We're pretty resilient. My mech is also extremely armor plated. And my let me see, anything else? That's pretty much it. I'm a frog in a big
apparatus?
tank. Yeah, I did say that nope. I guess I didn't. Let's see.
Dragoon.
The Dragoon. Yes, my frame type is the Dragoon, which is kind of a tank type. If you know what that's shorthand for, like high armor, pretty high damage. But yeah.
Rockin'. I am Soulbreaker. Most things without mandibles call me Shar. Sorry.
John suffers for his art.
I do. I am a Chimru. That is sort of like a spider-like alien. We do look a little bit like the Ogdra, but where they are fixated on consumption, we are more fixated on understanding the world and kind of we are also imperialists, but we're like ideological imperialists. We're like, let's discover everything and like interweave it into our own mythology and libraries and intellect.
I bet you guys are badass architects.
We are also very handsome, in my opinion. I fly an Ettercap, which is let's be honest, it's a little bit like a giant mech spider. On a related note, John, am entering a new diet where, as an alpha male, I only eat predatory animals, and I have taken to eating 2,000 to 3,000 spiders every day.
Nice.
So like, you are what you eat, baby. That's the character tonight.
Eat the 3,000 spiders.
John
That's
is
like
gonna be climbing up the
50
walls.
calories.
Hey, it depends on the size of the spider, bro.
I think if you're living on spiders, you'd have to like eat so many times your own weight in spiders to like get by.
It's not as hard as you think, because in middle school, my science fair project was actually calculating what the quantity and type of insects you'd have to eat on a daily basis to meet your nutritional needs. After there was a British fighter pilot. Yeah.
Nice.
Like I still have my poster, so
cool. I want to see it. That's awesome.
In fact, the USDA does have nutritional values of insects if you go through the website. So
they should, and that's awesome that they do. You know, like if I want to forage, it's my right as an American to forage.
Finally, I can subtract the 0.5 amount of bug from my peanut butter and determine the actual nutritional value of peanuts.
I think they just roll it in there. They just assume you're eating so many crickets, you know. If it's brown, do you want your smooth crickets or your crunchy crickets?
Crunchy all the way.
Yeah. They've got that mouthfeel.
All right, so I guess I'll go. So I am playing Skyseer. My banner is Skyseer, and my character's name is Meat Shop. I can't talk tonight. Jesus. I'm playing a character.
Frederick Nietzsche?
My brain's doing that fun thing. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. I have an armor mech suit, which is a thing. Before I got distracted with my not able to read anymore tonight, I was going to talk like this the whole time, because in my mind, this is now an anime, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I love it. Please do that the entire time.
My race is not human, but I look like one. I'm technically a Calderon. So yeah, that's gonna be tonight. What's that?
I guess it's my turn. My character's name is Deck, and he's under the Sword Knot banner. He is a Cloven. That's his kin. As it turns out, the Cloven were the first Cloven who first ventured into the ethereal and harnessed the ether, ushering in an era of prosperity while also throwing wide the door for the coming of the Ogdra. I can't speak either. Thank you, Mr. Paschke.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I am going to be in the Sunderer frame or apparatus. Basically, it's battle ready frame is more for agility than like ruinous damage, So, bam. Kind of where I'm going with that.
Oh.
Now, Kevin, I want to see you do this anime style because somehow that seems like it'd be real.
Come on, Kevin, embrace the power of friendship.
Let's go. John doesn't look impressed at all.
No, I think we're killing the spirit. Ah!
We need like a 10-minute commercial break to advertise breakfast cereal and like cheap toys.
Canned coffee.
I'm
We'll have
in
to do that.
favor.
Screw
You know
it.
what? My policy is that we should only voluntarily advertise stuff that we support. Like, we don't really control what Twitch shows people. But I'm in favor of both Saturday morning breakfast cereal and toys. So I'm cool with that.
No one wants me to advertise for them because I'm going to be advertising for generic shredded wheat that's unsweetened.
We can turn off the ad. Hey, you start sponsoring us, we'll turn off the ads and we'll just do your thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I'm looking at you, shredded wheat companies.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Extreme Restraints.
Yeah. I will say
You
this
sit
much.
all day streaming
If
and
you
you need fiber?
If you're slinging any sort of cryptocurrency, you can go fuck yourself.
Unless it is cryptocurrency that is built into a cage that shocks your penis.
Yeah, or I guess we'd also a sex toy of most kinds. I think we would accept. So it has
It's
to
fungible.
be. Yeah, but they have to be fungible, highly
Yeah.
fungible. Like
Yeah, we always support
promiscuous-
fungible sex toys.
promiscuously fungible, if you will.
Or fungus sex toys.
So, shifting away from fungal adult novelties, things. I feel like every time we stream, there's always something that I feel like I have to say that I never would have figured that I would ever say in my entire life. So, fungal adult novelties is up there for at least today. So let's take it from there. So the world in which you are a part of is this shattered world that, even though it's been centuries since this giant war between the Ogdra and your fellow survivors, the world itself hasn't been put back together. It's perpetually adrift. The more core word that these fragments are, the kind of wealthier the status is. You have more warmth, more natural resources. You're closer to the energy of the revolving core, and more on the fringe, it is literally colder and it's more barren and it's more fragmented. So these communities on the outside have formed the clans of the outer drifts. So you all, as kind of mutual reliance, depend on one another to defend against raiders, defend against incursions of alien species, and always keeping an eye out for the return of the Ogdra. So all of you have different banners and different heraldry that represent the ancient lines from where your apparatus have come from, but you yourselves are a nexus, a squadron of these knights that are dedicated to supporting these exterior clans and communities and protect them. So you are all intimately familiar. In fact, in this world, when you are part of a nexus, not only are you communing with your own apparatus and having that communication, but you also psychically can communicate with everyone that's in your nexus. So all of you at this point love the soothing, energetic sounds of Skyseer Mishak's voice, as it always just motivates you on to do. What was that? What kind of axiom can you give us about the power of friendship and working togetherness?
Yeah, friends, remember, my voice is in your head, just like it is in mine. The screaming never stops. You hear it too now. Let's go fight!
I was going to say at the end of this, I want to make sure that when we close out gameplay that you do like the PSA, like children, don't stick forks in the outlets and make sure you talk to an adult before cooking eggs, so make sure you're
And then we all freeze frame.
yes.
Every year, 70,000 children die cooking eggs.
Did you know that sharks are less dangerous than toddlers? Toddlers kill more people in the United States than sharks do. The more you know.
Also, I want to
Pork
point
chop
out
sandwiches.
that Charles sounded exactly like Buffalo Bill when he was reading that PSA.
He puts the
Hello,
lotion in the
children.
basket.
Hello, children. I want to play a game. You've gone your whole life not knowing where your children are after 9. That ends tonight.
I would like to say that as we're traveling and sharing mental space, I like to think that John and I are just grooving on the idea of some tasty crickets, since we'd both be super into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just contemplating crickets together.
Mine are gram masala flavored.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That sounds delicious.
Hell yeah.
So all of you are from different fragments, but you are all in this kind of compound. And it's kind of a quick world building. Say one thing that's really interesting or something that you particularly value about your small bit of fragment. And it could be anywhere from the size of a living room to a small continent. Say something about where you are from on this kind of outer fringe of this constellation of fragments.
Well, first of all, where I come from, we call it a frogment. And second, it's about as big as a lily pad pond, you know.
I am from a cluster of fragments that are held together by silk and kind of like lashed together. So it's they're all very small, and each little like fragment holds, one family unit, but it's a hive of clusters that are together. And our particular fragment cluster is dedicated to the study of and preservation of poetry.
Lovely.
Love that.
I've been changing bodies for so long, I forgot who I really am. This is just a husk that I wear to pass off in human society. I'm glad none of you have noticed that your actual friend has been gone for 3 months, and I've taken their place.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. All humans look alike to me.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, did Fred always have that?
Call
tick?
me speciesist, but 10 fingers, 10 toes, it's all the same to me.
I
Exactly.
feel like this is one of my favorite Patchkey characters so far. I love where this is
The
going.
best part is it's not a character.
Yeah, this is just patches.
Bashki's just giving voice to his madness at long last.
Ha, ha, ha.
And what about you, Sword Knot? Deck.
Deck's little slice of the universe is more of just like a kind of like an island with like various little other smaller islands around. Kind of just it's being as a the family is key to their survival or to their legacy, that they keep it really close knit and tight, and being as they were the first to actually harness the Aether, they kind of feel, I wouldn't say better, but they would. So they kind of hold themselves to a higher level or than most people. So or most
You
of the-
guys
is
are distinguished, is how you would
quite
probably.
distinguished, and
Yes,
we'd
yeah.
be more than happy to tell you.
So all of you are very invested in your fragments and the communities that you come from, and something that has been a threat And something that you've been monitoring are these incursions that happen by raiders from the ether. They've been slicing in like a cruel knife and leading raids on smaller fragments areas. Sometimes they seem to just wipe out all defenses and just absolutely devastate things, but not take anything. And other times they seem to be hunting for specific types of resources, but so far it's been hard to figure out exactly what they're really after. But your sensors will always kind of pick up this crackling distortion in the veil before they puncture their way through and then lead their raids. They're always heralded by this giant black ship that seems to just release tons of smaller, like bandit-like vessels that go through and lead a lot of the reconnaissance or a lot of these smaller attacks, while the larger ship will just drop very large lances, just destroying things. And it's been hard to capture or kind of predict them, but it's something that has your whole nexus on high alert. That amount of firepower in your area where you have these smaller fragments is a real and it's a real threat. And in fact, it's become your priority threat lately rather than the return of the Ogdra. And so one day when you're out and doing your regular maintenance on your apparatus, you see in the distance that one of your nearby fragment territories, Ferric, you hear distress signals coming for them, and you can see plumes of smoke that are beginning to erupt from the fragment, and it's kind of getting pulled coreward, these giant gouts of smoke and flame. You can see that the ether itself is parting, and you see the snout of the black ship beginning to poke through.
Is there any sort of heraldry that is legible on its hull?
You're really far from this. In fact, in this system, you have close, near, far, and distant. So this is even further than distant. This would be something that you would need to take more than 3 maneuvers to reach. You've not come up close and seen it. However, you can either tap into equipment that gets you there, or you can start to make a mad dash to get over there as quick as you can.
Anybody
So-
have any sort of specialized transportation ability or whatever?
I have kind of a like I'm good at like crawling around, like, but not like I would be good if the thing stopping us or hindering us was rocky terrain, but I don't really have anything special for this.
Yeah,
Nor do
I have the same thing, only on terrain. That ether wind ability. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just start hauling ass, shall we? Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Channels growth and devastating energy. No. Burst fire shot. Yeah, I think we should just start hauling ass.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go, gang. It's not going to investigate itself. Yeah.
All right. So you start making a direct trajectory towards Ferric. As you get closer, you can see that the ship itself is this ugly, snarled ship. It looks old. It has like black towers and minarets kind of sticking at it at odd angles. In fact, it almost kind of looks like it's been cobbled together from other ships and welded in very ugly and kind of grotesque ways. It's a giant freighter, and you can see that between all these kind of towerments are a large pair of load cannons, as well as bristling with other types of etheric weapons. As it begins to translate further into real space, you can see this like purple etheric lightning kind of dancing on the underside of the hole. Already from its underneath its belly, that there are lots of smaller ships beginning to buzz out of it, almost like a swarm of wasps. They seem to all be concentrating on one specific area of Theric. It's the largest kind of small continent area, and they seem to be bombarding one large area that's a little bit past the major iron mines. That is the major resource output for this area. It's away from the cities and the other settlements of Theric, but it's still in that same kind of protected economic zone.
And when you say
Do we
swarm,
wanna-
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you say swarm, are you saying like 10, 30, 100, hundreds?
So right now, you can see that moving in towards the ground, there's probably like 6 of these that are actively moving about. But on the underbelly of it, you see there's probably 3 to 6 others that are kind of detaching itself, kind of like a Simian, Sumerian toad,
Okay.
kind of coming out of it. Little brigands class apparatus.
Okay.
From here, as you are getting closer, you're seeing that Theric is launching a response already. You see that they have their own apparati also like coming out of the mines that are normally it's like labor bots that they are using to defend. It's a smaller defense. Like you see that there are like 4 of these suits, and you see that coming from other areas, you see at least 3 others coming.
So the defenders have about 7-ish.
So the defenders look like they're going to probably have a total of 5, and like that you can see dedicated, maybe more coming. This is still seems to be like an early response, but there's definitely a more imminent threat from the ship itself.
Right. Okay. I think that we should. Oh, right. We can communicate telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
I will head towards the miners and kind of act as, defense. If anything gets through, you guys set up a line, and because one of my special things is I can kind of teleport everyone to me. So I'll go down and run defense, backline defense, and if they start to break through me, I can just pull everyone to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, cool.
I kind of break off the main group and start my way down.
Sliderizing. So at this point, what we're going to do is we'll kind of transition this into the combat mode. So this means that when you are deciding your actions, you get 2 actions per turn, and that could be your maneuver, it could be your activate, your strike, or it can be your interact. If you do 2 of the same actions, then it requires you to roll for your Nexus roll, which is a measure of how much strain you're putting on your machine. That does, though, give you the opportunity to activate your Nexus ability. Like you were saying, yours would like cause your friends to teleport towards you. So we'll go ahead and kind of round robin actions. If you're going to be doing your 2 movements and getting to that front line fast, you'll make the first roll of the evening, and that's going to be your Nexus die. For you, your die is a D10. If you roll a 1 or a 10, let me know.
All right. I rolled a 3.
Okay, so you're pushing machine, but it is humming fine. All the time that you've taken to do your maintenance is paying off, and you get over there pretty quickly. You can see that you are close to the entrance of this mine, and you see that there are 2 apparatus that are beginning to haul what looks to be like a giant laser drill out of the mine, and they're trying to position up towards the giant black ship, but they're struggling because it's a very heavy, clunky mining drill that they're just yanking out of the mine as fast as they can.
I'll angle towards that so that I can get to that. and give them a hand.
Okay. Next, Iron, or I guess Olek. I'll call you by your boxes.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna hang back in the line for now. Although, John, if you want me to come and back you up, I've got. I think I'm pretty strong. Let me check that stat again. Yeah, I think I am. So, you want me to come down there and help you lift that big ass drill?
Maybe they seem to think it's a good defense, so maybe coming down here and helping us so we can get them
Yeah.
on the offensive as quickly as possible makes sense to me.
Yep. All right, cool. I will, in that case, advance right behind John, which means I need to roll my thingamajig, right?
Absolutely.
And that would be a D10 for me as well, correct?
That is no, for you it's a D8.
Ah, thank you. 5.
Okay, fantastic. So you don't suffer any type of engine malfunction, and you're able to get over there just in step with your outer cap friend. Next would be Sword Knot deck.
Since these guys are going to be going down and getting the helping with the miners get the cannon out, I'm going to get into the end of the fray and kind of try to take some of the opposition
Heat.
Yeah, take some of the heat basically. Is it going to be 2 movements to get to that position?
So you can, since you have a ranged weapon, you can spend 1 maneuver and you can get within firing range since your weapon is optimal within close to far range. I'm going to get this swap back and forth. Near to far. There we go.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, so you can fire your load cannon. So that would just mean that you're going to be treating that as a stat check for your flux. So for you, it's a little bit of a harder roll. It is, you need to roll under 8.
Okay. Well, then I'll do that. I'll get into position, fire the load cannon, and I rolled a 12.
Well, that's because you didn't blow on him first.
Science.
So
you fire and it just goes wide. These little raiding apparati are very nimble. You can see they don't have a lot of armor because they're sacrificing that for just sheer swarm tactics. And you see one of them churn, and you already hear like warning clicks on your sensors as it is going to be targeting you.
Okay.
And for your future rounds, since if you're wanting to keep with range, you do have your Devastator ability that would help you get advantage if you want to stay a safe distance away.
Okay.
Next, yeah, just letting you know your options. All right. I feel like we should probably. So these names were actually rolled as a really cool name generator for your banner in Vox. I feel like we're all going to be stumbling over Michok. So maybe would you want to be some type of like chibi-esque name since you were in this anime mode?
I know. Best name ever. Clint Howard.
All right, Skyseer Clint.
Oh no. John's gone. Okay. All right,
Did you drive him off that time, or did he actually just fall off?
I lost a point.
No, that was rage.
So that's a point. That's how many points for you?
I think that's the first point of the night. We haven't been keeping.
Yeah, it's the first point of the night.
Yeah, first point of the night.
Okay.
All right. So Clint, go. What is your course of action?
Other than being Ron Howard's little brother, I will go to back up my other mech friend attacking the enemy, because that's what you do. It's teamwork.
All right. So you spend 1 maneuver to get into position, and then you also pull out your loadcaster. So make me a flux check. So that's going to be rolling under 12.
Under 12 and a D20?
That's correct.
7.
Fantastic. So you take advantage of the wide shot that your friend spat out there, and you target the one that is already kind of distracted by him, and you fire at it. So you roll me your damage time, which is a d6 for you.
Okay. 1.
Now, 1. Now, for future things, what's interesting is the weapons that you have will have different types of quality modifiers to it. In future attacks, if it says light, you can actually make 2 attacks with that weapon, but at 1 damage die lower. So for your case, you could roll 2d4 instead of 1d6 if you want.
I'll try to remember that for next time.
All right, so you fire and you put a small chink in its armor. It doesn't seem to be having any type of electrical barrier around it, and you see you've burned through its armor, and you also get targeting runes lighting up in the back of your screen. So in this space, the aerospace fight, that you're going to have 2 of these mechs that are going to be coming in that are going to be targeting you, Clint, and Deck. So I'm going to resolve that before we go down to our companions that are helping to maneuver the giant laser drill. So your target runes are lighting up, and they fire these salvos of like very bright energy lances towards the 2 of you. I need both of you to roll me your flex checks to maneuver out of the way.
That was a 19 on the die.
All right.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so for both of you, those are failures. So these things are very fast, and they spit these bolts at you, and then you both hit you. So now I'm going to be rolling damage, but then after I've rolled damage, you need to figure out how many damage dice or how many armor dice you want to roll to try to soak that damage. So I will go ahead and... Right? So, Deck, you take 1 point of damage, and then Clint, you take 3 points of damage. So you both have different pools for your shield. You can roll as many dice as you want. If you roll the max of your shield, then it breaks, and you reduce that pool size.
Okay. I'll just roll 1 die then.
Okay.
I roll a 4 on that on a d6. So does that negate damage?
That means you get to soak that, and you get to keep your armor die. What are you doing, Clint?
Clint rolled a 2, which I was taking 3 damage, right? Originally?
That's correct. Steven, you can roll more dice if you want. You can roll another if you'd like.
No, I'll keep the 1 damage.
Okay, so you take 1 damage, and you feel that sympathetically as it goes through your apparatus. You feel that sympathetic pain as it kind of, you get this burning sensation in your shoulder, and this kind of clicking sound from that. Meanwhile, on the ground, the 2 of you, Czar and Olak, you are positioning yourself to help with this giant drill. You can see that it has lots of batteries and slots around it, and it has a large bore cannon. It is humming as it's beginning to already kind of pre-warm up, but it needs help to position it correctly.
Can I
Mhm.
I have a special power called adjunct limbs, so I can pop out like extra reinforced appendages.
Cool.
Obviously it has specific like stuff, but could I use these to help me maneuver this thing to be a super dexterous mech?
Absolutely. As you're beginning to, so you can roll your stone with advantage. And as you are beginning to position yourself, you can see this ship as it is flying above you. You can see more of these bay doors opening, releasing more of these. It's like bandit fighters. So next turn, it looks like you're going to have a squadron of 4 of these light ships closing in on you, trying to like perhaps intercept you from setting up the laser drill.
I rolled 8 under. for my stone roll.
All right. So you help to finish pulling this out of the mine, which is one of the hardest parts of it. And now it's the fine movement of angling it the correct way. Do you want to use your second action to finish that? Or...
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'm still using my my living limbs.
Okay.
Nope, rolled the same thing twice, so 1 under.
All right, fantastic. You feel it grind and click as you kind of force it beyond how it's supposed to be configured, making it stand almost straight upright and into the right position. You can already feel it begin to thrum with energy as the batteries are beginning to charge, but you know it's going to take time before it can actually effectively fire. So that puts...
I psychically tell Charles, like, hey, cover me, make sure that nothing knocks me, like, play guard duty and make sure nothing knocks us off target.
You got it.
So you're seeing these 4 apparatus are beginning to close in their position. They're doing a double movements themselves, so they're not firing at you, but you can see that 2 of them have cannons that they're like little load cannons that they are aiming towards your trajectory, while the other 2 have these giant bastard like mauls. They look to be almost of like raw iron slag on sticks. They're very crude, but they look very brutal, and they're kind of moving in as a pincher attack.
That's it. I just want to point out that that's an aesthetic choice. If you can build a mecha and you have them holding a cast iron stick, that is a design choice you have made.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just that's me improving. I think that would be kind of neat.
I'm not saying it's dumb. I'm just saying they have made the choice to be the baddies.
That's a choice. Yeah, yes. No.
I'm
leaning into that Saturday morning cartoon vibe that Pashke was setting.
So how far, like, how close are they in terms of the range?
So for you, the ones with the giant mauls, by the time that you're going to be taking your action, are going to be within near, and the ones with the guns are going to be in far.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I think I'm going to use my mobile strike ability to move toward that near enemy. And hit it with, let's see what kind of attack I want to use. Burst fire? Yeah, let's use burst fire. I test my ether against that. So let's see. What am I rolling against on that one? 8.
Okay, so you're going to be you pick which weapon that you're going to be using. If you're going to be using your spear or your mantlet, so your spear is also going to give you additional reach if you want.
Let's do that. Let's use the spear. Also, I don't know what a mantlet is.
It's kind of like a glovey, shieldy contrivance thing.
Oh, okay. Like a buckler or something. Yeah, let's use the spear instead.
It's
all
like,
right.
I was making a joke and I was on mute, and now the joke is dead. It's dead. I said it was an ant for men.
Now the spear does give me -2 to my attack roll, which is good. So let's see if I can do that. That's a D20 to beat an 8.
So you're going to be doing your your stone. So for you, Alec, you're going to roll under 14.
Okay, under 14. Gotcha. Now, okay, so this says 16, but with my spirit says I also get a -2 to attack roll. So am I at that number then?
Oh, so it's because if you want to throw it, then you would have -2 to. You know, I just realized that I think that was a duplicate. Because that is not considered to be a heavy. Oh, I see. It's your ability. Yes. So that you are correct. So you would have the -2 to that. So what did you roll total?
Met it. So total
Okay.
is 14, which is my strength, I believe.
Okay. So
My
that would be
stone.
a. Okay. I do think that. I do feel like that is something that I have wrong on there. I think that should be for a heavy weapon, not for that. So actually, I think that should just be. I think you actually would have hit that. Let me just make a correction on your sheet. So we'll just step that back, and you don't have that -2, but you don't have the +2 to damage from the heavy weapon, since the spear is its benefit is the reach, not heavy. So long story short, you do hit. So you'd be using your mobile strike. So you would be doing D8 +2 for your mobile strike. And you get to do that since you're doing burst fire. You basically get to do that twice.
Okay, and that's +2 on each one.
That's correct, because you're targeting 2 different targets with burst. So you're using the Olux augments. So not only do you get to pick your apparatus or the frame with a model that they're doing, but you also get to pick an augment, which can be either offensive, defensive, or utility that gives an extra flavor. His is the beam emitter, so he gets to do some extra cool, very powerful weapon stuff. So his burst fire allows him to do rapid fires of attack in a closer quarter with these people. So he closed the gap, and he's doing 2 series of attacks against those targets. So
that's
what was
3
that?
damage on the first one total.
Okay.
And 8 damage on the second one total.
All right. So this is also rupture damage, which means that this bypasses their shield altogether. So this is much more lethal damage that you're doing. So one of them is already beginning to close in, lifting this giant maul up towards it, and you just fire this beam like right through its shoulder, and you're not connected at all to their frame, but like sympathetically your apparatus can hear this keening scream of the damage that you've done to the other apparatus, and it drops the giant maul, and you can see this kind of plummet to the ground with a large impact.
Nice.
It is not disabled, but you can see sparks jutting out of it. The other one that you fire just gives this gouge across its armor, and it still is relentlessly zooming in towards you. You still have one other action. Did you want to do another attack? Did you want to use one of your activate one of your abilities?
Let's see. I don't want to do another attack because then I'd have to. Yeah, let's see.
Roll your Nexus. You could do well. That's the problem is if you use like your Shatter Beam attack, that one is still going to require you to roll your Nexus.
Yeah. I might as well attack again. Let's just light that up again. So see if I can get at or under 14. The attack.
Are you doing your burst fire or your regular attack?
Burst fire again.
Okay.
So do I roll Nexus first?
You're gonna roll your stone first, and then you're gonna roll your.
So my stone comes out to a nat 20. God damn it!
So that is a failure. So if burst fire has a failure condition already, so you do 1d4 rupture damage to a single target. So you can pick the one that you've either done more damage to or the one you've done lesser damage to. But then you're also going to take d4 damage to yourself. Then we're going to resolve the crit fail part of that. Which one did you want to do more of a damage?
The one that I've already damaged. And I will roll that d4 for it. Yeah, the one that I did the spark damage.
More damage to?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And that is a 4. That's another 4 damage to it.
So, good
is that
news
also the
and
same? That's how much I take as well?
Well, yes and no. So the first thing is, basically, your weapon overheats and just explodes. I mean, it just charges.
That's
it's not permanently destroyed. It takes out the target. So you see this
Sweet.
bandit is desperately reaching for a secondary weapon, and you blow off his head where the cockpit is, and you see fragments of just organic matter just fly off.
Hell yeah.
But the discharge from your weapon lashes back at you, cutting through your own shields, and you also take 4 points of rupture damage. On top of that, you are going to be what is that called? Startled? Or is it startled or rattled? You're going to have disadvantage for your next turn. And I need you to roll me a hearth check.
Okay.
Shaken. That is the game term.
Yeah, that's way better than
Startled.
S is a negative.
you a little fright.
Horace, I rolled an 11, which I'm pretty sure I passed.
That is a tie.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that means that it would be a failure.
Shit.
You have this moment where your courage is kind of shaken. You have this moment of just like, I could have pushed my machine too hard and just ruptured my core, and you are just rattled. So your shaken is going to last for 2 rounds instead of once. It means your actions are going to be at disadvantage for 2 rounds.
Right. Now, that damage that I took, that comes out of my energy, correct?
It's going to come straight out of your energy, correct?
Okay, great.
Then,
gotcha. I just want to make sure that was the right stat.
Lastly, you still have to make your Nexus roll, and then we'll move on.
All right, cool. That's a D10, isn't it?
That's a D8 for you.
A D8. Got it. They're all shaped so differently. You just want to... Okay, here we go.
On you in class.
Yep. 4.
4. So at least your engines are maintaining themselves, and it's just more of your own internal morale that is just shaken to the core as you're just taking this backlash of damage. Meanwhile,
the whole lower fifth of my cockpit is just full of frog shit now.
Wait, was it not before?
No, I was keeping my cloaca clenched. Thank you.
So, Deck, you're in this firefight. You're kind of in this dogfight between these bandit suits and your own. So you just gotten a
bandit suit now. Thank you very much.
Bandit apparatus. Brigand. I'm just going to be using. It's going to be alliterations all the way down.
Perfect. What I'd like to do first is I want to activate the Devastator ability. Which says until the end of your next turn, you have advantage on all tests made to attack and disadvantage on all tests made to avoid attacks. So
that's really funny.
Like it needs like a really good sound effect.
That's the name of a really high point beer, like a 10-point beer here in Utah is Devastator. So like high attack, low defense. That's about the size of it. Yeah, when you're drinking 10-point beer all night.
I'll drink to that.
It sounds like it's a form of. It sounds like a Bock, like a Doppelbock or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's OR.
Yeah.
All right, so you start charging your lasers,
and then I'm just gonna fire the load cannon at one of the other little swarmlings that are.
Okay. Before you make your attack roll, since you are activating your ability, you'll need to make your Nexus roll for the Devastator.
Oh, okay.
So that's a D6 for you.
D6.
So you have a much smaller threshold for over gutting your
that's a 5
apparatus. So you're able to maintain course, and you fully activate your Devastator. So go ahead and make your attack.
Okay, and that's with advantage. So one of them was a 3. The other one was an 18. So we're gonna go with the 3.
Okay, that is the successful roll. So you were able to brace and fire your load cannon. So this one is like a much bigger weapon. So it does. You get a +2 damage. Oh yeah, so it is a D12 +2 damage.
Yeah. And the damage is 7 plus 2, so that's 9.
9 points of damage. So you fire this very bright lance, and it almost floods your screen with too much light, and your apparatus kind of squeals as it filters it out, and you blast this arm off of the brigand apparatus. And you see like a gouts of fire come out of it. Mm-hmm. Its engines sputter as it's fighting against the damage control, and it is trying to detach itself from combat as it's beginning to like leak really bad core engine fumes.
Okay.
All right. So that gives us to Clint. Clint, you are on mute.
Sorry, I had a coughing fit earlier, and I didn't want to disrupt the stream.
Should have just changed bodies.
Anyhow, I understand there's still at least one of them left for me, right, gang?
There's one that is attaching itself, but is still kind of in airspace, and then the one that is trying to do you grievous harm. Correct.
Really, really important. One is attaching itself to me or someone else, or one of my teammates in danger.
Are all of your teammates in danger?
One of my teammates critically in danger right now?
Then critically? No, not critically.
All right. So
one of them's covered in shit.
Swimming in it.
I can't help with that.
Hi, Babette.
Lower fifth doesn't count as swimming in it, I don't think.
All right, so I'll just attack the one closest to me.
Yes.
I rolled a 15. What was I?
So what are you attacking with your buckler or your loadcaster?
The loadcaster.
So you're gonna so you need to roll under 12. So your first attack is a miss. You kind of fire wildly. But you have a second action. Do you want to maneuver, attack again, or something different?
I would like to do the attack again maneuver.
Okay. So go ahead and make your attack, and then we're gonna roll for Nexus.
7.
So your first shot was a miss, but you aim and you get a hit.
Got him, guys.
So for you, that is D6.
All right, and can I do the thing where I split it, or is that a separate thing you said I could do last time?
That was a special ability.
So you no, he is something different. So his is a light weapon, so he can do roll 2 1-step down damage die, which honestly statistically is a much better option than just rolling one larger die. So
compared to last time where I got a 1.
You at least are guaranteed. Yeah, so it works in favor. So you roll 2d4.
All right. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I got 5 altogether.
Hell yeah.
All right. So this one already had some damage. I think you already put a little chink in this. You fire across it, and you can see that its shields, like it's very thin shields. No, this one didn't even have shields. Let me step that back. You shoot a crater in its chest plating, and it also just begins to smoke. It also begins to detach along with the other one, and they are both kind of maneuvering it in such a way that they're covering each other's flanks as they're tactfully retreating back up to the black ship above. You can see that
tactfully retreating.
The
call it advancing to the rear.
Most of the ports on the black ship are beginning to close up, and it is beginning to move these giant cannons downwards towards where the laser drill is. So top of the enemy initiative, the 2 that were attacking, both of you tactfully retreat back all the way up inside the hangar. You're like the ancient machines that you're piloting, sometimes none of them have any form of AI, but some houses like to kind of venerate their machines as having some type of animus about it. You're pretty sure that you hear some type of snickering come from inside your ship, and as it kind of makes an onomatopoeia of like whimpering sounds as they retreat.
So the zero engine has activated.
Launch every zig. So none of them are pursuing you. As far as on the ground for Alec and Czar, you've destroyed the one with the mace and done serious damage to the other. The ones that are bringing up their ranged weapon begin to fire down at you. So I need both of you to roll me 2 flux checks each.
That's a D8 for me, right?
For you, it is.
Okay.
No, excuse me. Charles, your Alec you need to get under 13.
Oh, so it's okay.
I rolled 10 under and 3 under.
All right, so you're able to pilot your ship because you have your extra arm activated. You skitter out of the way, and for you, Deck, you are able to activate your jets and you move out of the way. One of the apparatuses that are helping defend the mines gets like hit in the shoulder, but he still grins and bears it as much as a emotion that a giant robot can convey. But they finish getting this laser cannon maneuvered. You start feeling tingling in your corporeal form as what?
I said nethers.
In your nethers.
Do I start feeling tingling in my nethers?
And you get the taste of ozone in your mouth as this cannon becomes the full capacity. There's this blinding sheet of light and this purple twisting beam of energy begins to bore up into the black ship above. There's a little bit of an orange flare as it hits a shield, and then it punches through that, and you see molten metal begin to spread along the underhull of it. The cannons that were underneath the giant ship, one of them fires, and it misses your area by an uncomfortably close amount, and where the other one was beginning to target in on you, you see the ship itself is beginning to detach back into the ether. The ether slices open and it begins to kind of retreat itself. As it's pulling back, that laser cannon is just raking the underside of the hull, kind of peeling off some of these big black panels, including tearing off one of these like turrets that begins to fall down to the ground.
Oh, we probably better get the hell out of the way of that. The turret, the falling turret.
Are our small friends who have been attacking us, are they retreating back?
They are going to be retreating back as well.
Okay. That's fine.
So fast forwarding this kind of montage of a retreat, after a few moments, all of the vessels retreat out of view. Some of you get a couple of pot shots off and take down another one of these small brigand apparatuses, and they all retreat back. The defenders are exhausted. You can see that more of these of their own kind of militia have assembled, some of them a little too late, but you're all kind of surveying the scene of what's happened here. Before everyone had come to defense of Ferric, it looked like they had been pummeling this one area far, like not too terribly far from the mine, but it looks like they've shot enough ordnance down that it cracked the crust, and there is a opening going down into the ground. It looked like perhaps they were trying to maybe puncture and make an entrance for them to do one of their raids.
Well, it's a pity they won't be able to do that.
That's a lot of ordnance.
Yeah, a lot of ordnance. Unfortunately for them, they now have 2 ships, and not the way they would hope for.
I will say this much, like stepping out game for a second. Like the giant robot fair that have watched has left me with the awareness that I really love beam weapons when giant robots are using them. Not so much when humans are, but like a giant robot using a beam weapon, that's the shit. You know, that's like
on that same wavelength, Charles. There's nothing I love more than giant robots using non-weapon industrial tools as weapons.
Yeah.
Like, and like I think that
Hell
goes
yeah.
back to my like peasants fighting against knights. Just like,
Yeah.
fuck the power.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something so like you know, when a human picks up like an axe or a sword, like when a robot picks up like, I don't know, industrial saw, it feels kind of the same way.
Oh, it feels beautiful. Yeah.
Just feels so right.
Yeah. I'm still holding this drill at the moment.
Bro, put that down. It's probably hot.
So yeah, this is the thing because it's almost like on tracks. Everything. It's this huge thing that you're helping to shoulder, and as it's beginning to power down, one of the apparatus that comes up that is, you can see that there are additional apparatus following him. Is you identify him as being like the mission leader of Ferric, that is the Shard Tender Amiel. So they vox into your Nexus network. It's kind of a scratchy, bad feed at first because there's still so much like discharge from the laser. But they thank you for coming to the defense. And they expressed their concern about these raids and that Ferric has been targeted multiple times. But the strangest thing about the attacks is, unlike other types of bandits and different groups that are after resources, these particular marauders have never once infiltrated the mines or gone after the valuable pure iron resources that are valuable to every house and group, but they're after something different altogether.
I have a hypothesis.
After a second, the translator in my cockpit kicks on and says, "That's an interesting hypothesis, my friend. I would be reticent to form any sort of a guess as to what they're after. However, if they are continuously targeting this area, perhaps there's something underground, perhaps another civilization left that they're after. A treasure hunt. Brigands are not the most intelligent of enemies we face, but my team and I will happily look into the area they are, for lack of a better word, my friend, digging, and see if we can come up with some reason that they would be targeting you."
I'm hoping that this voice is a computer generated.
It is 100%.
British accent, Alexa. That it's being piped over like just screeching. You can hear your original like spidery alien speech.
I think it'd be way funnier. It'd be way funnier if it were like, you know, the hideous spider noises, and then it was like, "My friend, what we are trying to do."
It's Gilbert Godfrey voice. Gilbert Godfrey, rest his soul, recorded all of the voiceovers. So it doesn't matter what alien you are, it's all Gilbert Godfrey all the way down.
If you want an upgrade, switch to premium. But yeah,
everyone is just completely everyone is just completely used to it. So like it's not even a thing for us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I talk in my froggy croaking, and it comes out with, you know, 1/5 of my cockpit is filled with shit. which might be something that Gilbert, in his memory, be a blessing, actually said at some point.
I am sorry, my friend's translator is stuck on another one. I have one that just says Bobcat here. Maybe that would be better.
Do it.
Possibly the only one worse.
No, not
worse
at all.
Or better.
I'm going to psychically tap into my my teammates and sort of explain the concerns and say like, "Hey, there's a big hole in the ground. You guys love holes in the grounds like I do, right?"
We're on the
I've been in a few.
I don't not like them.
We're situationally aware that the whatchamacallem, the
Ogar.
Yeah, we're aware that those are
Ogdra.
on the move, right?
Yes.
they're
So There have already been sightings of them in various fringe communities amongst the fragments. The full incursion of them has not been seen, but you know it's a matter of time before they finish crossing the ether and devastate everything once again.
All right. I think that I 100% agree with my scuttly friend here. And I think that the stakes are probably higher than we suspect. It might be more than just treasure. It might be something related to the Ogara or the apparatuses, or it could be a shard, or who knows. So let's
I
find out.
completely agree. I am attempting to like not cause a panic by saying like, it's probably nothing, but we'll check it out.
I'm talking
boy,
to
did
you
you say
guys on
treasure?
I'm using the psychic friends hotline to talk to you guys about that.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, I think our team name should be the Super Friends because I don't think anyone's
Oh,
used
yeah.
that before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Ooh, that's good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
It
I
is,
just came
yeah.
up with it.
Man,
You know what that is? That's
you're a
super.
genius.
It's because we're friends.
Mhm.
So Amiel voxes in and completely agrees with what you're saying. It's like if you want to go down and lead the reconnaissance to figure out exactly what we're dealing with, I will begin marshaling defenses here and setting up. I'll vox in towards more coreward, see if any other houses will be here, because I don't know if we will be able to survive a full onslaught. They retreated pretty early for. It just seems suspicious.
Mhm.
So I think a greater
Smart.
attack must be coming later.
Or we intimidated them.
With our nudity.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would go
Completely
ahead
naked in
and
this cockpit.
I would recommend that they go ahead. The defenses keep that mining laser pointed upward and charged. That came in pretty handy.
Yep.
And with that passed on, we'll go down into the hole.
Let's
where
do
we
our scuttle
belong.
dance.
Yep. Mine's more of a hop and a gentle.
So we're doing the
sliver.
scuttle and hop.
The scuttle and
It's
hop.
like
Yeah.
it's like the whip and nay nay, but more frog and spider themed.
Or the Bandicoot and Crash.
Or the Tomb and Raider.
I'm just gonna go in the hole.
Oh, you guys just want to talk about PS1 games now?
Yeah. I think I'll go. If you guys don't mind, I'll go down first since I'm like our tank. My armor's very thick and blah. So yeah.
Get
I
in
am
with
going
me.
to actually.
You have to fight deck for it.
No, by all means, thick boy, get in
I will
there.
actually go last because I'm the most
thick
nimble.
boy.
That way, I don't like someone doesn't get stuck above me, and then we can't quickly get back to the surface if we need to.
Makes sense.
So when you are beginning to, so when you approach this crater area, you take a look at it and you see that the ground is, I mean, it's just absolutely carbonized from the sheer amount of ordinal bombardment that had happened in this area prior to the assembly of things. You can see that large fissures run along this whole area, and the hole itself, although immediately dark, it does seem to have a slight throbbing glow emanating from it. It seems to cycle between like a soft violet and then something in between a teal and like an aquamarine. It seems to be vibrating on an odd, almost etheric spectra, and that's how your ships and your own biological sensors are kind of detecting the energy wavelength. So you are going to be heading in first, Olak. So as you pilot your way in, the first thing you notice is that there's an odd sense of gravity here. Gravity has been kind of normalized to being directionally the surface of fragments, but when you go through the hole, you feel gravity is along the sides of the cavern, and that it is shifts, and your internal gyro is half destabilized, as there seems to be something very odd here, like this is somewhere between real space and the ether. You almost looks like at first that you're almost inside of a giant geode. But it's almost kind of hard to conceptualize because it is larger on the inside and it meanders almost kind of in these fractal-like patterns downward, almost in a spiral. If those directional coordinates kind of make sense of downward and spiral.
I'm gonna psych all that back to my friends, and invite them to come on into the Scary Larry's, discount house of madness.
Yeah. Well,
Love it.
actually, I have a question that might be a little strange.
If it wasn't strange, then I would be worried about you.
Seeing as both Charles and I are not actually humans, would
I'm
our
not
brains be
human
different?
either.
No one's human.
Oh, well, since none of us have would our brains? I have a spider brain. Would my brain be processing this differently to a degree where I have a different comprehension of it?
No,
That's
they've done experiments with spiders in zero gravity and the webs they build, and they are very much affected, albeit in a different way than humans. But yeah, they don't know what the fucking zero G just like.
What
we
kind
don't.
of out of curiosity, what kind of webs do frogs build in zero G?
None. We're
That's
not
too
very
bad.
good at building.
That
Yeah,
would
we're not
be-
very good at building webs.
How fucking freaky would that be? We took a frog into space and it grew mandibles and started spitting webs. Send flamethrowers. Oh my god, no.
I'd be like, man, we got to get more animals to space to figure out if this is universally applicable or
Now,
Right.
that's a good question because everything on Earth, the most evolutionary preferred form
we're
is
becoming
the
crabs.
is the crab.
Carbonation.
So what would it be in zero G? That's a great question. So this is
spiders are just weddy crabs.
maybe.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
so
they're
this
all
is
arthropods.
also disorienting at first, but you would probably feel a little more comfortable the fact that as being someone that can maneuver on difficult terrain,
Okay.
and gravity being localized to surfaces. I think with your extra arm, you probably feel like you can get more of a grip and orient yourself to that. If you were
Okay.
just
Just
free
like sticky
flying, it would
legs.
probably be.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I was just wondering.
No, so all of you enter into the space and kind of also get this bewildering fractal, almost like a non-Euclidean space that you're in. All of you first make me an ether check as you acclimate to this space.
Ooh, first failed roll of the night. 3 over.
Right.
Hang on a second. What number was I trying to beat? Let's see here.
So for you, that is under 8.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
I passed.
Anybody pass?
I passed as well.
No,
got
I did
4.
not pass.
Did you say you passed, Clint?
Yeah, Clint. Yeah, I passed. I'm good at things like understanding non-Euclidean space.
Yes,
So wait.
yes, you are.
Is that a yes or is that a sarcasm?
No, I rolled a 7. I passed. I was
I
Sorry,
think I'm the
with-
only, I'm the
with-
only
with
one who
that
failed.
voice.
Yeah.
No, I failed.
Okay. No, two of you failed.
Yes, sir.
So as the two of you failed, just feel very lost in here. If it wasn't for your nexus and your two companions that can really make sense of the space, you would feel progressively lost. But the things that you notice, Clint and Deck, is that there are odd, you'd almost say like handholds in this geode-like structure and glyphs, and you start to, as you study it for a while, see that there is a pattern that brings you closer towards the center or core of the space.
Mm-hmm.
So as you follow that downward, the space feels like it is both getting smaller and larger at the same time. At some point, you have to just kind of turn off your augments or your apparatus's external computerized sensors and just go off of a manual read and
I
just
was
getting
literally I was literally about to make a joke about like never had these problems with metadimensional travel in the Rand McNally days.
So as you follow your senses down, you eventually come into a different space that transitions from out of fractal spiral downward into what would translate as a large oblong chamber. It's almost like a jarring transition between spaces. This one feels somehow more rooted in real space, but then also has that very etheric feeling to it. There's a very strong, odd energy here that kind of scrambles your senses just a bit. In the very center of this giant, like cyclopean chamber, is a pyramid-like structure. It looks to be, it shifts dimensionally a bit as you look at it with both your ship sensors and your whatever serves as your eyes for your species. But it is a giant crystal pyramid, like prism, that is inlaid with black metal. It's hard to tell, but it is this thing that is giving this pulsating energy between the aquamarine spectra and the more like violet spectra.
Guys, I think this is one of Wilhelm Reich's orgonite pyramids, if I'm not mistaken.
There's so much orgone in here.
Yeah, that deadly orgone radiation, that DOR, got to get it out of your life. Wait, that's a point for me. I think we just drove right off. Okay, yeah, I did.
I marked it.
I don't like that on TikTok and on Facebook Reels randomly someone unironically talks about making like orgonite crystals and stuff, and I'm like,
I want to get one.
Resin and copper.
Yeah.
Come on.
I want to get one that's like made by somebody who's a real believer, and just to have it among my like, I'll pan the camera over there one day because I've got a whole like multiple shelf system of like weird occult shit, and I feel like it's not complete without some orgonite. So you know who believed in that? William S. Burroughs.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So you see this giant pyramid structure at the center of this cyclopean chamber. You know from the dimensions of this fragment that space really shouldn't exist, especially within being closer proximity to the iron mines.
How big is it in relation to our mechs?
You feel like a housefly in a like a basketball court.
Okay. I not the space, but the orgone pyramid. How big is it compared to us? Is it?
You feel like a
enormous?
like a tourist to the Louvre glass pyramid.
Okay.
Window
right.
thing.
So it's too big for us to get out of here, in short.
Unless we throw a rock at it. Oh wait, it's probably not made of
Well,
glass.
maybe there's a door in it. Maybe
just sweep up the.
Maybe there's a door in it, and we can like go inside, and there's a smaller one that we can take home from the gift shop, and tell the people
that's where you exit.
Yeah, and we could tell the people that the souvenir one we got was the real thing. They don't know how big it is.
They don't. They haven't been down here.
Yeah,
it's right. Or should we just like take footage and take that back to Defense Command or whatever? You guys want to get any
that
closer?
might be the one.
Yeah.
That's probably the smart move, but I feel like one of us should interject here. Guys, if we don't act now, then they'll just have an uprising and destroy our whole society. We have to destroy them now.
Who's them?
That's an excellent question.
It's the first one, really.
So I assume that our mechs have like AV recording equipment, since even like medium fancy cars do nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's just
we have
bail
dash cams.
Yeah, let's just bail the fuck out of here and like go show other people who might be more qualified to deal with weird gigantic relics. This isn't our neck of the woods, you know.
Yeah.
You said this isn't your mech of the woods?
Not our neck of the woods.
Stop trying to get me to log off.
Frogman didn't get a reaction, but that did. You guys. All right. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so just taking like information from the outside, not getting too close. Okay.
Enough
Alright,
that if they have some sort of legend or record or even like rumor that might relate to this, they will know more about it than we do.
Yeah,
Like if this were a relic from Frogtopia, I would know what it is, but I don't know what we're fucking with. It could be the atom bomb or the cure for cancer. I'm not sure.
Right.
yeah.
I
Or it
mean,
could just be a
technically, the
guest
atom
book.
bomb.
An atom bomb that cures cancer?
I mean, doesn't it though? Cancer
Sounds like
will
a hard
die.
To an
you know,
extent,
In
I
a way,
suppose.
yeah. It depends on how far away from it you are, actually.
And on the way out, I
Sometimes-
want to kind of take note of the glyphs that were going on the walls as well. So, so that we can report all that stuff back up. Maybe they know what the glyphs actually mean
Yeah.
Okay.
with the patterns and stuff.
I mean, the
So
chances
when-
of it being some root of their language is pretty good, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you?
So yeah, we clamber out of the hole. You got hippies. There
got
are
hippies.
there are so many crystals down there. It's a sure sign of a hippie infestation.
I
We can
reported sense of
we
patchouli.
can fumigate, but
Oh boy, are my chakras aligned, guys?
it's spreading. It's communicable.
Being down there just for 45 minutes cured my Lyme disease.
Fuck.
So
Yeah,
Amiel,
John and I feel that one.
Amiel is a bit confused, and they say infestation of what exactly?
No, we just turn over the footage and say the and
We're
and
gonna
the evidence.
take this
and
to
say, yeah,
the high command.
yeah. That's our whole idea is
So-
to take it to whoever our superiors are, and also to the people here in case they know what it is and can help us with it. So let's start
Yeah,
with the shard keeper here locally.
So
That'd be a
Amiel,
good place to start. Yeah.
Amiel will immediately be like, this needs to be reported to the authority to Ethereum. They're the agency that oversees the refinement and collection of etheric energy. They're like, this is ancient. This is some form of like very ancient aether tech that needs to be studied, and like this is very, we don't know what this is. This is something we've not seen, but those glyphs show that this is one of the early races that were able to understand and harness this, that the tech that
All of it.
everything that we have is based off of.
I mean, we shouldn't have gone in there and banged a wrench on everything and hit the
So,
on-off
would you-
switch and
I
seen
dare
what
you
it
to
did.
snort the black slime.
Yeah.
Again.
So with that, they are able to send off a data package through the various relays to go from fragment to fragment, so it can reach us in time. And he goes, this is going to be a challenge, because if they come back with the black chips, then we don't know if we can defend this long enough. If this is something worth losing life over, or if this is something dangerous that we need to defend at all cost. Already, like, you're starting to get tingles in your skin, and your alarms are beginning to go off in your ship. As you can see already, the veil is beginning to thin again, and you can see a dark shadow kind of pressing on the other side.
Can we now? Well, it looks like we should re-aim our mining laser.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got the mining laser up. We've got I don't think we can stage a prolonged defense of this site.
No, but we
can-
can make them real scared.
Yeah, we can at least try, and then stage a. What is the joke in Gaunt's Ghost that they always repeat, that the Imperial Guard never retreats? They stage a tactical
retreat or
staged
tactical
retreat.
Withdrawal, tactical withdrawal.
Yeah, stage tactical withdrawal. That's what we're gonna do if things get too hairy. Yeah.
Well, and as those guys set up the mining cannon, I will get back up into position and set up the load cannon to start picking off any that start coming towards the surface.
Cool.
All right. So the Aether or the veil parts, and you see that looming in the background is the giant black ship, and coming out first is a freighter that is also kind of the exterior looks to be like gnarled iron plates, and also has two large load cannons on other sides of it, and it is coming in first. And you see that it's already moving its cannons towards the position of the mining laser as kind of a preemptive strike. So we'll go ahead and start this as our kind of final little combat encounter of the evening, where it'll be you versus this flux freighter, and see if you're able to push off its initial foray, or if you will lose your suits to it. So I'll have all of you make a flux check to see if you go before or after the ship.
Yeah.
That's my second nat 20 of the evening.
Wow.
Did you know that according to some mathematicians, the designation of positive and negative
Baltusburger
is really
bargain of the evening.
is really
We've got the Baltusburger rage quit, the Baltusburger bargain.
Look, man, at this point, I'm just checking boxes for y'all.
This is how John words points, okay?
Is it Baltusburger bingo or?
Yes, we need to do that.
Anyway, the point is
bingo.
that when you look at it from a multiversal standpoint, having 4 points above or 4 points below are the same. There's such a finite hugeness to everything that those 2 points one and the same.
Did any of you pass?
I did. I got a 3.
Okay, then you're gonna get the first action, and then we'll round robin from there. So, Deck, you said you were preparing your actions. Tell me how that plays out.
Okay, so was my movement prior to basically the initiative turn? Okay, so
Yes.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the Devastator again, and then so I guess I'll roll my.
So make your
flux.
your Nexus check.
Oh, my Nexus check. So it's a D6.
Correct.
It's a 3 on the die.
All right, you maintain it.
Okay, and then I am going to fire the load cannon at this freighter.
Okay, fantastic.
I got a 2 and a 9.
A 2 and a 9. All right, so you have 11 points of damage there.
Oh,
and
I thought that was for the attack.
For your attack. Sorry, that you're rolling your advantage. Yes, so when you're able to get your hit, correct.
Okay, so I'll roll my D12. That's a.
And then
that's a 12 plus 2.
D12 plus 2. 14 points, and that is max. That is spectacular. So you fire this giant burst out, and it strikes the underside of the freighter. It does not seem like it is diverting any type of energy into shields, and you are just knocking out huge chunks of slag from it. As it rumbles through, the rest of it rumbles into real space. It is still beginning to charge its cannons, so it is moving one cannon in your general direction and one towards the mining laser. So I need you, Deck, to roll me is anyone by Deck in close proximity?
I would, for consistency's sake, just be like. It seemed to work last time.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's gonna be 2 targets, so I just wanted to see who's most logically close. So it'll be you, Deck, and Clint. I'll have you both roll me flux checks to dodge.
Okay, and this will be a disadvantage. because of
Correct.
the devastation. 5 and 11, so it's 11 on the die. And my flex is 8.
It's 8, so
yeah,
that is a failure for you.
Yeah.
And what about you, Clint?
Oh, Clint passed.
Clint passed. Okay.
Nice.
So, Deck, you get max damage from that. The load cannon bears down on you, striking for 8 points of damage.
8
Not
points?
So,
like 10,000
you-
points.
Well, it has more things that it can do, but so you can choose to use many of your shield dice that you want to soak.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I'm going to do.
Might as well use them all.
Fuck yeah! I'll use all 3 of them.
Okay. So if you roll a 6 on any of them, then you break them.
Nope, I got a 5, a 3, and a 2, so that's 10. So then I soak it all. Then correct.
So you soak it all. It turns and it fires its load cannon right towards the mining laser. Weren't you preparing to use that as well, Czar?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll need you to roll me flux.
Oh, nice. That is a 9 under.
9 under. So you dodge out of the way, but it causes the laser cannon to explode in a purple fireball, like electric fireball, and it takes out one of the other apparatus from your supporting militiamen. You hear like this kind of burst of static scream as he immolates to his core. You see the freighter, it begins to open up bay doors, and it releases 2 larger, in very kind of crude green heraldry, almost look like hunters from the ancient era, but these are more twisted and cruel. You see that one holds something that's in between a giant flail and a hammer, while another one holds a hook and a chain, and they advance towards your group. You can hear sounds coming from the Voxnet as the militia prepares to defend against them, and Amiel leads the charge, holding the banner of Theric as he leads the defense. You can see in the background already, like the larger of the black ship begins to push its way through after seeing that the mining laser has been taken out, and there are a handful of this flying, more smaller bandit craft beginning to swoop in. They're gunning towards that hole, and you know that they're going to do everything they can to get whatever's at the bottom of that. So it does put us at our 15-minute towards end of stream, but that means that after all of the commercials for flavorless shredded wheat, we have our PSA for the evening, and our message has been brought to you by Sky Seer Clint.
Oh boy, do you think that milk is too flavorful and rich and you need to make it more bland? Get shredded wheat products. That's right. Shredded wheat products is good for you and good for your digestive health. Mix it with kombucha for an ungodly, awful breakfast that you will barely be able to put down. But gosh darn, will it be full of probiotics?
What's the message to our young viewer audience? What is the moral that they should take from today's episode?
Eat a healthy breakfast. Yeah. don't clog the toilet. First thing. Yeah. Ask your mom and dad before using the poop knife.
Oh,
this show is awful, and I regret it. Friends, this has been Aether Nexus. It is a game that I asked us to play. Because I mean, if you've been watching the stream, look at this fucking art. First and foremost, like, for a long time I wanted to play Lancer, another mech RPG, but like they don't have any physical stuff now. And so like getting in on this and getting in on this game as it kind of like comes to fruition is pretty magical. They have a lot of different levels you can back at. You can get the PDF, you can get the physical edition. You can also get the mech hack book that this game is based on. So you can kind of choose your level of involvement of like what you get. But it's a very cool project with, like I said, just gorgeous art. So I hope that you'll consider backing it. I did. Full disclosure, I requested that we played it, and over the course of the week, I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go ahead and back this bad boy because it looks great.
I think you only have to disclose that if it's like something you made. I think if you like it, that's not like a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Well,
and Matt
I like
Click,
disclosing shit.
Okay.
But,
all right.
And Matt Click, one of the authors, joined us briefly in the chat as well.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
Right on.
He
Nice.
did. He had some good statements. So a couple of things. First of all, obviously, this is absolute tabletops. Aether Nexus, Matt Click, Michael Barker, Tim Kearney, David Black, and Ben Fluter. I can't read because my eyes aren't that good. But thank you for letting us play. If you weren't aware, our intro and outro music is Barbaria of Purple Miasmic Smoke from Bog Wizard. Just an incredible band doing incredible shit. This episode drops on Friday, as all of our episodes do. And that's the day that Big Cartel and Bandcamp give extra money to bands when you support them. So there's a link in the show notes. Click on that, go to Bog Wizard shit and support them because they are amazing. Bridget right now is in Philadelphia preparing for StokerCon.
Nice.
So you can hang out with Bridget there. You could also maybe see Doug Ford and pick up copies of Ape in the Ring, Good Lugosi, or his brand new book, The Trick. Raft James White is a guest of honor, and there is a panel on Splatterpunk. So
I think Tamika Thompson is there as just an attendee too. So
yeah, so Tamika Thompson wrote Salamander Justice from Madness Art Press. So and there's more. Like I am incapable of keeping track of where all of the Madness Art Press authors and artists are at any given time. I begin sending out little chocolate candies with radioactive isotopes in them, so I can so I can just pull them up on my screen and see where everyone is. And like, you know, if they step out of line, I do an explode the head thing, Amanda Waller style. But in my defense, our contracts stipulate that A, I am your legal mother, and B, there is a behavior clause in our contract. So if I explode your head for being a transphobe, well, it was in the contract.
But on the other hand,
Thanks,
since he is our mother, he is legally obligated to nurse us, which I've always thought was nice.
The milk of my teats is what drives the foundation of Madness Heart Press. Charles, you have a new book.
Yeah. Yeah, the 28th. He led us into the wilderness and spoke to us is my Jonestown novel. It is one part historical horror, one part cosmic horror, and I don't know, one part just that Charles R. Bernard special sauce. So,
yeah, the special sauce, which is why I, related to that, Charles, Lucas Mangum always comes to me and he's like, I'm thinking about trying to write this book because that seems popular, or this book because that seems popular. And I always tell him the same fucking thing. Lucas, I don't care what's popular. I want a Lucas Mangum joint. Like, write what's true to you. And that's one thing I really love about Charles's writing is he always writes true to himself. And Charles's books are such that no one else could have written them but Charles, which what makes them really stand out. So pick up, you can pre-order He Led Us into the Wilderness and Spoke to Us right now on Amazon or on MadnessHeart.press. You can also pick up his other books, Congratulations on Your Hatred and Baptism for the Dead. Pick both of those up. We also have pre-orders for a reprint of Ed Lee's The Backwoods. and Charwood. I'm going to try to get this straight. Next month on the 14th, I believe, Lucas Mangum's Blade Job, which is about blood ritual, time travel, and wrestling, drops. On the 28th, The Backwoods by Ed Wee, which is a horror erotica book that has a record number of the word nipple within its pages. And Charwood, which is a Jewish eco-horror cosmic thing that's just gorgeous.
Also
that comes
described
out
as Jewish folk horror, which is a genre I am deeply in love with.
that comes out on August 28th, I believe. You can also obviously get things like Beautiful Darkness, Everyone Dies Famous, Whispers of the Dead Saint, and Odd Gobs. On a side note, Odd Gobs is now available on Exalted Funeral. So, and like I looked at Exalted Funeral like while we were in the green room today and added 4 things to my cart. So I have a problem that I need to nip in the bud. But it's a cool site if you haven't already shopped there. Finally, Kevin Welch, you have a brand new fucking show.
That's right.
I do. I did hint at it last time I was on. It is called The Rolled Standad presents Flail the Face, a compatible with Mork Borg actual play podcast. We recorded the first episode last week, and it will be airing on June 3rd. It's going to be a bi-weekly podcast, kind of offsetting how the Rolled Standad's doing their normal show, because they're taking they're doing bi-weekly on for their show for the summer. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth. Yeah. And it's going to be focusing on third-party content. So
I have to ask, are y'all going to be delving into the Dungeon from Whispers or into Morkabeans?
You'll have to talk to you know what? Let me talk to
promotion.
Chris. Yeah, let me talk to Chris about it. And I don't see, or we'll
there is so much cool third-party content that like I could never get mad if my stuff wasn't top of the list, because holy shit, there's so much incredible stuff from so many amazing artists out there.
Yeah. In fact, the first one that we're doing, and I hope I'm not spilling the beans too much, but we're doing Trapped Within from Philip Jensen.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's the first arc we're starting with. So
I edited that.
Yeah, we played
and I wrote
it,
some of the stuff in it.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
we're playing it, and it's the first episode was fucking nuts. So
awesome.
I can't wait to have it out there. I'm just almost just itching just to get this thing out there for everyone to listen to.
Just Philip, no.
Oh yeah, actually, we sent him we sent him the episode today.
Cool
to listen to beforehand. So it's a sneak peek because he wrote the adventure.
So you can go ahead and go and subscribe to that and start checking that out bi-weekly starting June 3rd, which is a beautiful day. Celebrate your freedom with some Mork Borg.
Yes. You can also find us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look up Flail the Face. I think I sent Charles all the notes.
We'll be sending out a lot of stuff from our socials here. So if you're watching us live, that'll be tomorrow. If you're watching us on Friday or afterward, just check our
yesterday.
It was yesterday, and just check and you'll find it.
While you're on the socials, by the way, please go follow @OneMoncast. Charles maintains that, and it is just chock-a-block full of nerd news and cool commentary on what's going on in our little subculture. On that note, friends, thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. My name is John Baldisberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Servas.
Mr. Paschke.
And Kevin.
We will be back next week. Until then, put kombucha in your fucking Wheaties. Do it. Do it, you coward. Do it.
It's for your health.